107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B.
Y'all say it for me. Who are we bringing in the building? We can't hear you. Say it again. R. Kelly. Oh, he's looking so fire.
Make some noise for Kellz, New York.
Woo! Hey, Kellz. Looking hot up in here. Oh, Rosenberg.
Woo!
Oh, my goodness.
Kellz is here.
He is in the building.
You got a mic right there, Kellz. Welcome, man.
How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It's a lovely evening.
Woo!
Deja,
Looking
you see Kellz kicks right now?
I'm checking him out. Wait a minute. What is this? Velvet? Let me touch. Hold on. Bing!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. With a little bling on it.
These old things. Come on.
Shut up.
Man. Man.
Yo, you looking fly, though, man. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you guys, too, man.
Yeah,
Good
so
to
we
see
know you have this huge concert coming up on Saturday at the Prudential Center. Everybody's excited about it. But before all that, let's talk about what you're working on and all that good stuff. Tell us about this new album that I hear will be dropping in the fall.
Yeah, it's all about the buffet right now. You
The
know what I'm
buffet.
saying? Yeah, it's all about the buffet. All you can hear.
This
All
is a
you can
title
hear.
after my own heart, buffet.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to have some hot wings and macaroni and cheese on this buffet.
Oh, man, we're going to have all of it. It's a big old stew, baby.
It's a big old stew.
Yeah, it's all blended.
So the logic behind the album was you've had so many different styles over the years, but on this one you're bringing all the styles to the album.
Yeah, I decided that, first of all, I was going through what am I going to do on this next album. It's my 14th album.
Has it
I've
been
at it
14?
It's like-
14th album, y'all.
Thank you. And I was just trying to figure out how to do it and where I'm recreating myself again, after all of this time. So I decided in looking over my audience and performing, I'm seeing all kind of generations out there, young, medium-aged, middle-aged, older people out there, and some people waiting on I Believe I Can Fly, some people waiting on, Bump and Grind, Step in the Name of Love, all of these things I've done in the past, TP2, exactly, baby. I got 3 kids off of that one. Hold on, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so yeah, and so I decided to put all of that, all of the things I've done in the past on one album.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And call it the buffet. You know what I mean?
So what kind of zone do you have to be in to go into that? Because it's different styles, right? You got to get your mind right for each one. It's like, okay, should I go back to the 12-play mode? Am I going to the Chocolate Factory about to start stepping? What do you do to prep for that?
Well, I had to study me. I had to study me, go through my past and all the way up to now and look at what I've done and say, wow, I got everybody else copying. I can copy myself now. I'm gonna do
like
me
it.
now. You know what I'm saying? So I got inspired by me and just went and I dug in, man, and I tapped into it.
Nice.
So talking about all those different styles, every few years it seems like you do something totally different. I loved where you were at with Love Letter and that whole period, that whole throwback. It was an amazing period. Do you have one style that if you had to choose to perform it for the rest of your life, you'd say you love the most?
Yeah, at this point, I would be doing the bump and grind thing.
Because we don't see nothing wrong with that.
I do the bump and grind time 89.
Really? I like it. I like it. All right, some of the folks were taking it way back. They were saying they wanted to hear like Honey Love type stuff. When you're going back to that, do you think that your music has grown? Like you're saying, okay, well, I was just starting out really good over here, but now is it harder to go back and look at that stuff and say, okay, I'm not really at that point anymore?
No. I'm always at that point. I'm just always music, I'm going to always hear a sexual song, I believe. I'm going to always hear a Step in the Name of Love type of song. I'm going to always hear this music, and it's going to come in different styles. You just never know what's going to come out of me because I don't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. One of my favorite things about R. Kelly is that it seems like there are times when you're making a record and you do something in the studio that I almost can't believe you recorded, right? Like you just start ad-libbing and you're like, you know what? I'm going to just leave that. Juanito, you're still setting up right now. But when he gets set up, I'm going to play you my favorite one. But do you have a process, do you have one set process in how you make a song, or is it different with you every single time?
It's different every single time, but at the same time, I believe in keeping it real, and when I'm singing on these tracks, I don't really write the song, I let it write me. So whatever it tells me to say, if it say, hey, say feeling on your booty. Feeling on your booty, I'm just gonna say that.
Sing it, Kellz, sing it.
If it tell me to go, say, I know this gonna sound stupid, but say booga booga booga. Okay. Booga 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 tee. I was just gonna keep it real. You know, I'm gonna keep it real because if that's what the music tell me to do, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, take me through this one right here. Sound guy, you have the DJ up. Juanito, play him my favorite R. Kelly ad-lib of all time.
Go on and do it. Hey, come on, snap your fingers with me, Michael Jackson style. Snap your finger, do your step. You can do it all by yourself. Snap your finger, do your step. You can do it all by
So,
yourself.
what makes someone think, I want to do an impression of Michael Jackson doing Little John? What are you thinking when that happens?
Well, first of all, I love Michael. So whenever I hear an opportunity or get a window to do something like Mike, I will do it. And not only that, when you've mastered your gift, when you've, worked so hard, you start to say to yourself, you know what, I can have some fun with my gift. I'm going to take some chances today. I'm going to have some fun, do some Michael on this track, you know what I'm saying? So that's what that was all about.
When you mentioned Michael, I just want one thing to say that, Deja. You mentioned Michael. You, of course, worked with Michael multiple times. Can you tell us a little bit about any memories you may have of working with Mike, or generally what your relationship was with Michael Jackson? Because obviously growing up, it must have been amazing for you to get to that point where you actually had a working relationship with Michael, and honestly, in my opinion, you produced Michael's last great record, which was One More Chance. So you did some amazing work with Michael. Tell us a little bit about working with him.
Well, first of all, Michael Jackson, it's one thing, it's very crazy to go from Michael Jackson is a cartoon from a kid to, you say, okay, Michael Jackson to me was my Mickey Mouse, for real coming up. I just was like, okay, this is not real. He's not real, but I love his music. But to actually grow up and become who I became, and as a producer, and to be producing and writing for Michael when I first met him, it was crazy because he still was a cartoon to me. Even though it was very surreal. And the first thing I offered Michael Jackson was some Chinese food, because I love Chinese food. I eat Chinese food. And
Where
you
was
kept it real all the way around the hood. Let me go get this shrimp fried
where was
rice.
this?
I was scared to offer this man some Chinese food because I didn't know what he would do
What you
to
say,
me.
Kellz? What you say? Yo, man, you want some Chinese?
He was like, no, I'm sorry. I just ate. Me and Bubbles, we just ate. We're fine.
Me and Bubbles.
Was he really with Bubbles?
Absolutely.
Where was the first meeting you had with Michael?
In the studio.
In Chicago?
Yeah, I talked to him over phone first, and then eventually he came to Chicago to my studio, and it was crazy because the security was on point, because they let me know they only wanted to talk to me. They didn't want to talk to my manager. I'm fighting my manager, saying, look, man, the man only want to see me when he get here. He don't want all of y'all here.
Right.
Well, man, I'm the manager. I said, that don't have nothing to do with it. Don't mess this moment up for
How
me,
did
man.
it start from the get-go, though? Who put you guys together?
Huh?
How did you guys get connected? Did he say, I want to work with
Did the
R.
phone
Kelly?
just ring one day?
Yeah.
Well, Michael's like the president. He can get in touch with anybody at any time he want to,
right.
especially back then, you know what I'm saying? So he called me out, and I was like, I was on the phone. I didn't believe it was him. It sounded like him, but, it's Michael Jackson, so how am I going to believe this is him? But it all became real when they landed in Chicago, and I don't know how Mike do this, but when Michael pulled up to the studio, across the street was a hotel, and across the street, everybody in the windows were hanging out like they knew he was coming. It's just something magical about him. I don't know if he be making calls on the low. I'm coming. Make sure you guys know I'll be there. And it's like people were hanging out all out of the windows just expecting this man. I couldn't believe it.
Was he, last question about Michael, interacted with them? Sometimes people say, I hear both things. Some people say he's like a cartoon, and then some people say at the same time he acts very regular in conversation. How did you find him?
Yeah, once you break it down, man, after I came out the bathroom and doing the whole little girl thing and going all crazy, came back like it was nothing. You understand me? Because I had swag back then too, so I had to keep my composure.
Right.
But once I got it together, came back out, offered him some Chinese food. I did that just to break the ice. You want some Chinese food, Mike? Oh, no, fine. Whatever. So we got into the track. And he would tell me, this track is going to be something that the world's going to sing this forever. And I'm like, yeah, Mike, I appreciate that. I'm glad you like it. So when he went in the studio to do his thing, you know what I'm saying? First he talked to his doc. Doc told him how to get into his vocals and stuff like that. But then he asked me to come in there and sing backgrounds with him. And I'm telling you, I can't even tell you what, went to my feet. So we got in there and started singing, and I'm sitting in there. You are not alone. I am here with you. Though you're far away, I am here to stay. You are not alone. Why? I'm like, whoa. I'm looking at, I'm doing my vocals, and he right here, I'm doing my vocals, looking at him like this. You're not alone. I couldn't believe I was just standing next to Michael Jackson singing a song I wrote.
That has got to be a career high, definitely.
Oh, still a high.
So you've written for people like Michael Jackson, Celine Dion. Who haven't you written for that you would like to, like, I want to get into the studio with that person, or I think I could help mold this talent, or even if it's somebody who's been around for a minute, who would you like to work with?
Well, you know, believe it or not, is one of the people I've always wanted to work with was, I shouldn't say that.
Say it.
Say it. Or you got to say it now. You got to say it.
Now, come on now.
Now I'm excited. Now I need to know.
Right.
No, well, a lot of people, I'm at my best when I'm wanted. You understand what I'm saying? I'm at my best when I'm wanted. And I've always wanted to just take somebody and just do what they're trying to do and really do it the way they're trying to do it, because I see where they're trying to go.
Right.
I know what they want to do, and I know exactly how to get there. You know, and they're taking the elevator, but where they're trying to go, they have to take the stairs. And so I would take Trey's songs and tie him up.
Do
Really
it, Kellz. Now that
give
would
him
be
what it
hot.
is he's trying to do.
You
The
can
whole
already,
album,
you know you've already
everything.
influenced this
Look, young
dude.
fella, this is what you're trying to do. Bam.
Do
You know what I'm
it.
saying? So, but
Let's
you
make
know,
it happen for real.
and I look at everything. Everything is about time, and I'm at my best when I'm wanted, and I'm incredible when I'm needed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So people have to realize that. Though.
Hey, I wasn't going to chase getting a quotable, but you just got us a quotable for the evening, because people will be excited to hear that with the conversation there's been about you and Trey over the years.
Yeah.
Now you have to realize there are people now who, when they are standing next to you, feel the way you felt when you were standing next to Michael Jackson.
Wow.
So what, of those people that you've gotten to work with, you've worked with Usher, you've worked with T-Pain, you've worked with so many people, was there anyone there who you could tell was pretty geeked and honored, and they really let you know just how honored they were to be working with Kellz?
Well, not really, because today, you know, you got swag on the earth today, so everybody ain't going, you know, but I tell you what, I can read through all of that, you know what I'm saying, and as a, you know, being in the business as long as I have a very strong spiritual discernment, and I know that all these guys are they look up to me, you know, I know it, but of course you got swag, so people ain't going to be, they're not going to, you know, put that out there, but I can feel it, you know, so
were there
it's good.
any of the young guys who you were most excited to work with yourself? Who you were like, this dude is really special?
Yeah, honestly, all of the guys you just mentioned, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm at my best when I'm wanted, and I can tell these guys were excited to work with me and everything else. So that made me feel good, you know.
All right, well, what are we bringing for this show this weekend? Because we were talking to some of the folks before you got here, and we were saying, how many people have actually been to an R. Kelly show, right? He puts it on, right? What do you have in store for everybody at the Prudential Center this Saturday? We need to know.
Well, you know, you can expect the unexpected with me, because I'm very spontaneous on stage. It's my living room, you know what I'm saying? I kick back and do what I want, you know, and pretty much on my stage. And, you know, my fans are my best friends now, you know what I'm saying? Because we've been through a lot together, for one, you know.
Right.
We've held each other down through the storms, you know what I'm saying? I've written songs that helped them out, and in my storms, they've helped me out, and we've just stuck together for all of these years, you know, so I call them my best friends because of that reason, you know, so I try to custom make my show for every city I go to, because, you know, every city got their own swag, everybody got their own slang, so, you know, and depending on what city I'm in, depending on what I do on that stage.
Well, I got to see you at a really interesting R. Kelly show. Knowing how you are aware of your audience, I could tell that because I saw you at Bonnaroo a couple of years ago, right? And for people who don't know, Bonnaroo's a huge festival with tons of different people, right? And you came out of the gate. This is the most shocking thing I think I've ever seen in a concert. You started the show with Ignition. You came out of the gate with Ignition Remix, and it felt like you knew that you had a lot of audience there who kind of been like, oh, let's check out R. Kelly, but didn't necessarily understand it. And then you ran through, as I was telling the audience before you got here, you ran through all the features that you do.
Right.
Of all those features, and there were so many good ones, do you have any that you know you have to play every single time?
Oh, absolutely, or I'll probably lose my career. Gotta do bump and grind, boo. Gotta
Yes.
do seem like you're ready. You know, gotta do when a woman is fed up. You know. Oh wow, the list.
Body's calling.
Gotta do 12 play.
You gotta do the entire
Body's
12 play
calling.
album.
Yeah. Those are the traditions. Those are what take us down memory lane.
And
you
what
know?
about the songs that you did from other artists? Like you did the Twista record, you did Nick Cannon record, you did a whole bunch of them. Are there any of those that you know you have to get?
Well, I always do You're So Sexy, me and Twista. And sometimes I'll do the Nick Cannon song, but haven't done it in a while. You know,
I think you
it's
did.
cool.
I think you might have done B2K Girlfriend too. I can't remember if you did the intro, because sometimes you'll just hit the intro, hit a few bars, and jump out to the next one.
No.
Didn't do that one.
Didn't do that one.
All right, in my mind, I want you to do B2K Girlfriend. All right, I admit it. I want to hear a B2K song, and I got to. Okay?
I'll see what I can't do
All
for
right,
you.
thank you.
All right, Kellz, listen, we got a couple of questions from the audience. I think this is Kendra from Brooklyn. Kendra wants to know, out of all of your albums, which one was the most personal?
Which one was the most personal? I would say 12 play.
12 play?
Yeah.
Yeah, that song, that album still rocks in my car. Like, seriously, on regular rotation. Anybody with me? Can I get an amen?
I mean, hell yeah.
Thank you.
Nicole from Jersey wants to know if you have any plan. Where's Nicole from Jersey? There you go. Nicole wants to know if you have any plans to do a gospel album in the near future.
I don't know. I don't set out to do a certain type of album. I just go in the studio and I hear what I hear and I do what I do. You know, I've done a gospel album in the past, You Saved Me, and I only did that because of the experience I had, during that time. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do an album, and that's how my music worked. That's how the gift worked. I couldn't just say, I'm gonna do a gospel album tomorrow because it has to hit me. So I went through something at that point in time, and I did that gospel album in like 2 weeks. So
I have a question.
yeah.
Can you put out Loveland? Is there any way you can just put that album out in full? Because I lost my bootleg years ago, and there is no way to get Loveland. Can we ever get that? And what happened with it? Why didn't you end up putting it out?
You know, because Loveland, that's when back then, that's when a lot of bootlegging had started, So a lot of artists, our guards were down, you know what I'm saying? So at that point in time, I look up and Loveland, I'm hearing about it. I'm pulling up to red lights, and it's playing in the next car. And I'm like, my man, did you buy that? And he just scurred on off, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wow. When I started hearing Loveland was out there, I was like very disappointed because I wanted to surprise the world with that album. But it's out there now, so it's all good.
So you can find. All right. Well, it is.
all good.
If you've never sat with Loveland before, I strongly recommend you do so. We got one more from the audience.
Yeah, let's do Shamika from Brooklyn. Are you considering movies and reality TV or any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I could let you guys in on a secret. I haven't mentioned this, but I'm writing a movie right now called Blue Suede, and it's about a blue. I just did a whole blues album in the studio, dedicating it to my grandfather and B.B. King, of course. But my grandfather sang blues, so I've always wanted to do blues. Back in the day, so I called myself on this album. My alter ego is Illinois Blue. And this is about Illinois Blue, and this is a movie. It's going to be a real big movie. I'm very
So it's a movie
confident in that.
in conjunction with the actual album.
Yeah, actually,
Nice.
absolutely. The blues
Starring
album.
you as Illinois Blue.
Well, I might be in it, but I didn't write it for me.
Okay, you didn't write it for you.
No,
Wow.
I didn't write it for me. No.
All right, nice.
And that also leads me to asking, what is the trapped in the closet situation?
Right?
Well, Trapped in the Closet, I just completed I got like 40 to 48, 50 more chapters right now done. And
That's a lot.
it's very exciting.
When do you sleep?
What's that?
You're like, what's that?
What
no,
is
but seriously, what do you do to just chill and take it down? Because you sound like you're in the studio a lot. Are you
Yeah.
still shooting and playing ball?
Oh yeah, every day.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to shoot and play ball every day or do some type of sweat. But anyway, as far as Trapped in the Closet, I got those chapters done, so we're just waiting on to get the clearance to go on and start shooting.
And would it be the same TV situation, or would you be looking for a new home, or would it continue on the same way it did the first time? What was it, Bravo the first time? Where was it?
A&E?
Was it I can't remember where it aired the first time. AMC? It was AMC or Bravo. It was some fancy network.
Yeah, I remember.
So is this something that'll be happening in the near future, or you're still a few steps away?
It's the very near future. Like we're talking about like at least 4 months away.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Buffet will be coming out September, and this Saturday you get to see R. Kelly at the Prudential Center. It's going to be super, super nice. Get those tickets. You might even get another pair before you leave. Don't count on that.
All right, I'm sneaking it. I'm sneaking in one last question before we
Good.
let all of y'all meet R. Kelly, which we're gonna do in just a minute. Of course, you did a song with the late great Biggie Smalls. We Are in New York. What was you did multiple songs with Biggie. You had your song "Be Happy with Biggie," and then of course "Fucking You Tonight," which is a classic.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about working with B.I.G.
Oh man, you know, I gotta say, he's the Michael Jackson of rap. You know what I'm saying? Biggie, you know, reminded me of me in my own R&B way, you know, and songwriting way. You know, he would rap, and as he didn't need videos. You could see what he was saying rather than just hear what he was saying. You know, he was a genius at putting a picture in your head, and that's what amazed me the most about Biggie. You know, you know, it was just unbelievable how he delivered his story. He had stories, and as long as you got stories, you can always be in the game. Yeah.
All right, well, guys, R. Kelly, Saturday night, Prudential Center.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending this time with us, man. It is an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you, Kellz.
All right.